So time to get this wiring rolling. It's not too difficult, plus the instructions, they just, you know, make it even easier. So long story short, you're gonna plug in those two plugs. It already comes with the relay. You gotta wire in some grounds, the white wires, and then there's that blue switch for the trinary, or the blue wire for the trinary switch. So yep, back to it. So just to go over all this before I mount it all down and put connectors and stuff on. So it's the main relay from the kit. I'm gonna mount that over here. It's a ground for the valve for the heater control valve. I'm gonna ground that out over there as well. So violet is keyed on. It's gonna come over here to one of these. I gotta put sheathing on it and everything, which is connected to that painless fuse block over there. So it's just keyed on. And then the brown is your backlight for dimmer. So when you turn your headlights on, the controller light will come on, or when you want to turn it brighter or dimmer, you can do that with this. These are chassis grounds, and these are the main powers that go to a circuit breaker. The circuit breaker for mine is here, and then the distribution block is there, which comes from the battery. It mounts behind, can't really see it, but so that's how I'm gonna wire that circuit breaker, which goes back to the trunk via that power wire there, the big red wire. Yeah, and then that's it. Then there's a blue wire, that blue wire there. It goes through there into the panel, through the bulkhead, out the bulkhead over there. So I'm gonna mount these up, run the sheathing, connect what needs to over here, and yeah, back to it. So I wanted to go over this before I show you on the car, the actual instructions, before you see what I did. So one connection goes to the box, another one goes to the actual controller. So this is the breakdown of what the main harness should be connected to. There's a main relay that you've got to mount, then you have an ignition source. Most of these aren't used, and then, well, depending on the controller you have, but for me it's not. You have the main plug for the heater control valve, then there's a second plug for the heater control valve, there's a ground for the valve, then you have a wire for the trinary switch that needs to go out to the front of the car, and then if your battery's in the front, you want these to go as well. So we have two whites, which are grounds, we have two reds, which go to a breaker, and then a power goes from the battery to the breaker. So, and then this is the trinary wiring, which again I will go over, but I just want to show you guys here first before we get into actually what's on the car. So wiring is done. This should be the last part. I'm gonna go over it all. As you can see, I don't have the dash in, so I just brought the piece that I'm going to be using to show you guys. So just to go over the wiring again, this needs to be grounded. This is the main relay for the whole vintage air. Then there is a plug back there that plugs into the heater control valve, which is over there. There's also a little black plug. Where's that? Find the instructions. So there's a little plug like that also. So that's the white one. There's a little black one. They both clip in. I just got them wound up and zip tied back there. Then all the other wires go over and run across. So you have the brown, which is illumination, purple, which is, I'm looking at the instructions while I'm talking to you, violet, which is ignition hot, and baby blue, where's it at? Baby blue goes to the trinary switch. So there's the ignition hot right here. Then you have a circuit breaker. There's a circuit breaker here, There's the circuit breaker for the vintage air. Since y'all haven't seen this before, I might as well go over it. These are 3 breakers for the auxiliary harnesses I have. One wasn't enough because I'm running a bunch of accessory crap and I don't want to piggyback it off of my main fuse block. I'm redoing all that because I had to add that and paint that. So anyways, so this is the main breaker for the kit. Power comes in, power goes out to the vintage air here. This plug, so this is the piece I'll be using for the control. Let me pull it out. It's not mounted yet, so hold on, let me pull it out. Okay, so that's it. This piece isn't done yet, so please don't judge me, but that's basically what it will look like. It'll be in the car like so. This plug here that comes off the back plugs in there. The main harness that comes in the kit plugs in here, and then we will get to the inside of the engine bay. Okay, this is the engine bay side. So here's the instructions, and here's how it is on the actual car. So this braided one is the main power coming through for the fan. We have two. We have this comes, the blue comes from the controller that tells the AC request on. Then the gray is ignition, ignition hot. So it runs over to a relay. I had this relay already for my fan. I was originally just using it for my fan. So it'll come into the trinary, which will get changed once I get plugs. I have to redo it anyways because I have to tell the trinary to talk to the Holly. I have a junction block for that, but I'm not charging the AC and dealing with any of that now. I have to buy a $500 wiring plug-in kit. So long story short, I'm not doing that right now. This is just so the fan will work. The AC will be protected for when it's too high or too low, and it'll tell the fan when to turn on. So I have wires that come over and go here to the fan. Then I have another wire that comes up that goes to the compressor, and one that goes over to a temperature sensor. It's just a ground signal. So once it hits 180, it'll ground and then send a ground here, tell the to turn on, or it'll get a ground as well from here once it gets a request to turn on from the controller in the car. So this is basically it. That's exactly how it's ran on mine. Sorry, it's a little blurry, but yeah, that's one more hurdle done. So, you know, thank you guys for the support. Like, comment, subscribe like usual. It's super windy, as you can tell. There goes our instructions. I'm gonna get back to it. I gotta tighten up those plugs right there. I gotta do all kind of crazy stuff. I'm gonna work on the dash, the interior stuff now. So, yep, back to it.
Like lightning.
You just want to go fast?
Uh-huh.